Friberto, over at your spot. Come on, take Pumpkinhead. Oh, okay, I see you. Yes. Good morning, everyone. It is Mornings with Mo and Fry on this 23rd of October. No, sir. Fry is in full on cray cray mode because Mo was in full on Dayquil slash night quill mode yesterday, which will lead, excuse me, to our story of the day because I could not have a weekend without the usual suspects, the two youngest. You know them, you love them. They are our Sizer Kosei or of this house. So good morning, Gigi. Good morning, Kaiser. Good morning, Jason J. Good morning, Toodly Pip. Good morning, Dennis. Good morning, Christine. So now I did promise you guys I had a solution, and I guess being Dayquil slash NyQuil up yesterday, I missed the incredible news. Good morning, Veilhammer. Good morning, Rain. I missed the incredible news that Sean King, the world's greatest and most unsung, except by him own self, civil rights activist, hero, and throw mom under the bus, uh, you know, guy in the world had won the freedom of Israeli hostages. And I thought, why did we not think of this first? We have this incredible resource. Send Sean King over to the Middle East. We have this man, bridge the gaps, shore up, peace. This man could possibly bring the end of this conflict. Through self-promotion alone, I think he has already solved this conflict. So really, me, Dayquil, and myself have decided to go ahead and send an envoy in to Sean King and both parties, actually all parties and all conflicts. And yes, Gigi, we're all rooting for you because we do not function without you very much. So, yes. But I realized we had forgotten about this, national treasure that we do have and that we have not been exploiting to its full potential. So I say, Mr. King, Godspeed and God bless. I am willing to help start a crowdfund to send you to all places of national crisis. Yes, Godspeed and God bless. May you do your bidding everywhere. As I have made a personal pledge to not spend much time on the Mesopotamia here, I just thought I would let you know that we have found a solution to the problem. And I don't know how to Twitter him, but I will X him and give him the idea to send himself elsewhere and solve the world's problems with self-promotion and throwing his mother under the bus for being somewhat skanky in his own allegations. And I believe that everyone in the world will donate $1 for him to go. I'm just saying, you're welcome, America. We have sent our largest untapped treasure. In real newsy news, Friberto, I know that mommy was in bed all this weekend, most of yesterday, and we will go on a walk, but right now, it is newsy news time. Florida woman's drunken ride at 120 miles an hour ends in violent fingernail attack on a trooper. Florida Highway Patrol says. Pinellas Clown. Why must every toy have a squeaker in it? Do dog toy inventors just hate owners, or is it just us? Dog toy owners hate people. Pinellas County, Florida, a Florida woman's alleged drunken joyride at 120 miles per hour in a 55-mile zone. Look, she She was on her way to her nail appointment. It's like Jamie when she's on her way to her lash appointment. She was in a zone. She had to get out of her house. You don't understand. It's the only time we leave our houses. uh, Led to her arrest, but the stop took a turn when she became quote unquote violent with the Florida State Highway Patrol or Florida Highway Patrol trooper whose hand she dug her fingernails in. Brittany Banshee was arrested and charged with DUI after the incident unfolded. Look, she needed to drink to get out of her house. Look, she has agoraphobia. We understand. All right. We try to give everyone. Oh, well, reading further on into Brittany Banshee, or I'm going to guess Bianchi, I don't know, was arrested and charged with a DUI, not the Cords, after the incident that unfolded on Gainey Bridge in St. Petersburg on Saturday night, according to the Florida Highway Patrol. The 31-year-old was also charged with resisting an officer, with violence, battery on law enforcement, habitual traffic offender, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, speeding, and no insurance. This marks Bianchi's third DUI arrest in 10 years. Well, so she's, she's consistent. And men today say women aren't consistent. Just kidding. Bianchi was driving a Mercedes. Friberto. No. The answer is no. At 120 miles per hour in a posted 55-mile zone. When she passed a trooper, well, see, it's like she doesn't even have one of those. Look, if you're going to be a habitual offender, I'm not saying they're legal, but you might want to get one of them, find a cop things. I don't know that they're legal in Florida. In fact, I think they might not be. And don't take any of my advice, because I'm just a redhead that talks on the internet. But also, possibly, don't be a schmuck that drinks and drives, because usually you jerkbots are the one that walk away from the accident while the minivan that you plow into is totaled. So how about not? Friberto, I love you, but no. So, in summary, don't drink and drive. In Florida, anywhere. A manhunt continues for the Nashville police chief's son suspected in shooting 2 Tennessee officers. That's going to be an interesting Thanksgiving. Laverne, Tennessee. Police in Tennessee are searching Sunday for the estranged son of Nashville police chief as the suspect in shooting 2 officers outside a Dollar General store. Officers in Laverne. It's in Tennessee. A city about 20 miles or 32 kilometers southeast of Nashville were investigating a stolen vehicle outside the store Saturday afternoon when they struggled with the suspect who pulled a handgun and shot them, said Laverne Police Chief Christopher Meows. I'm going to go ahead and say Meows, but that then takes me to Super Troopers because I'm a 12-year-old. Police identified the suspect as John C. Drake Jr., 38, who is the son of Metro Nashville Police Department Chief John Drake. One of the officers was shot twice in the groin and right forearm, while the other officer was hit in the rear left shoulder. Both were taken to Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville. One of the officers was released from the hospital Saturday night. The other officer was kept overnight for observation and in stable condition, said Ann Smith, a spokesperson for the city of Laverne. Their identities have not yet been released, but their pictures have been shown. So I guess it's already been released now. The police chief issued a statement Saturday confirming his son was the suspect in a shooting. Drake said that they were estranged over many years and he only has minimal contact with his son. The younger Drake is a convicted felon who, quote, resorted to years of criminal activity, he said. He, quote, now needs to be found and held accountable for his actions today. I hope that anyone who sees him or has information about him will contact enforcement immediately, Drake says. Uh, Friberto, what do you have? Ah, pen. No. We do not play with Legos. We do not play with pens. We do not play with pudding cups. I feel like this entire weekend has been yelling at people for not playing with things they're not supposed to. Story time to come. Thank you, Eris. I just need 12 more hands. Maybe. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said in a social media post that a statewide alert has been issued for Drake, who is wanted on 2 counts of first-degree attempted murder. Smith said about a dozen law enforcement agencies are involved in the search. After the shooting, Laverne police issued a shelter-in-place order for the residents in the city. Good morning, genitals. Good morning, rabbit. Thank you, Eris, for the catch. I don't know if the police chief did his job with the parenting and, uh yes, when things are quiet, it's scary. Uh okay, yes, I see your ball. If you drop it, I can throw it. If you keep hold of it, I cannot throw it. So, basically, we need to find this guy. It seems like he's been doing not so great things for a while. And, you know, when you're an adult, you make choices regardless of who your parents are. If you make bad choices, that is what happens. Kind of like this bear cub, if the pictorials show up. And this is just CCTV footage from inside this particular grocery store in Alaska where this bear is going to eat, oh, I don't know, a bajillion dollars worth of produce because produce is 100 bajillion% expensive in Alaska. Would you if you want me to throw it, you have to give it up. I'm just asking where the mom is, because if there's a bear cub, there's a bear mom somewhere. Oh, poor bear cub. So, bear cub browses produce at Alaskan grocery store. Shoppers at an Alaskan grocery store witnessed an unusual scene when a bear cub wandered into peruse the produce aisle. Alaska State Troopers said a pair of life troopers and Petersburg Police Department personnel responded to the trading union IGA in Petersburg for reports of a bear inside the store. He's alone. Can we keep him? I know, I would keep him. It'd be like that, oh gosh, what is the story? It's got, Martin Lawrence and, the goofy guy, Ashton Kutcher. I can't remember, but my kids love it. Uh, anyway, it's Boog and what's his face. Gotta love Lyrica when you can't remember anything to save your life, but we watched the movie for forever. But yes, no, apparently you cannot keep the bear cub, teach it to uh, teach it to, juggle oranges. It's just not apparently fair. So they released him back into the wild. Hopefully they found a mom or something to get him back. In other news, apparently the spookiest town in America is in Florida. America's Freedom Dong apparently has more than Florida Man and Florida Whoa Man. It has the psychic capital of the world. Would you think they would be able to tell us more about they would warn us about Florida Man and Florida Whoa Man a little more? You think they would. The spookiest town in Florida is also the psychic capital of the world, and you'd think that'd be in Arizona where all the vortexes and crystals are, but I guess Casadega, Florida. While Halloween might be right around the corner, there are US cities that boast mystic and spine chilling vibes all year. Nestled among these spine tingling small town destinations is a city in Florida that has earned a spot on the new list of 10 spookiest small towns in the country. The United States has no shortage of spooky cities like Salem, Massachusetts, and New Orleans, Louisiana. Travel sites far and wide said about his report, but the noise and chaos of cities, it's easy to escape anything that might make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. In small towns, on the other hand, there is often no way to avoid the mystical energies that give you the creeps. Again, have you ever been to my Walmart? I'm just saying, go on a Saturday and the people watching is a maze. Casadega, a community in Volusia County, just 8 miles southeast of DeLand, is ranked among the spookiest small towns in US according to Far and Wide. It's also the only entry from Florida. Here's why. Casadega was first founded as a spiritualist camp, attracting a community of psychics and mediums who claimed to communicate with spirits. Well, I mean, if you're a psychic or a medium and you came to like communicate with alive people, you'd be a terrible psychic or medium. I mean, like, I'm a psychic that talks to alive people. Okay, well, then you're a person. Actually, I'm going to start selling myself as an alive psychic. You mean you're a person? Never mind. I thought it was hilarious to me. Anyhoozle, uh, Far and Wide said, over a century after its establishment, the town is still called the psychic capital of the world. Perhaps it's not that there are more ghosts than any other place, but nowhere else will you have as many people who can tell you what they want. Um, I'm going to go ahead and say generally just to be left alone. Or maybe if you could ask them how to reset the VCR. Hey, Ma, dear Ma, what was the last ingredient in Aunt Edith's ambrosia? We've got the cup and the cup and the cup. Uh, Casadega was established in 1894, according to the community's website. The spiritualist camp consists of about 55 acres and 55 homes. Quote, those who reside here have chosen to live in community of spiritual people where they can worship and work in harmony with their beliefs. Many of the camp's residents are mediums and healers who offer their services from their homes or apartments. You guys, do you understand that this would be Sal, I think you and I need to go, but as immersion therapy for people that wanna talk to us, no idea. It will be peopling to the extent that we have never peopled before. So many people wanting to talk to us about our past. It won't be a fun trip, but it will be spiritual growth of how not to laugh at people. Salbert, we will finally determine who is the eviler twin. I'm sensing a fun community group chat. Casadega's official website says, we as spiritualists welcome you no matter what your religion or origin is, wherever you are on your spiritual path, believer, skeptic, or simply curious. Salbert, they're inviting us. I'm just saying. Here's a look of other spooky cities in the U.S. named on Far and Wide list. Estes Park, Colorado, Williamsburg, Virginia, Savannah, New York, Afula, Alabama, Eureka Springs, Arkansas, Placerville, California, Volcano, Hawaii, St. Francisville, Louisiana, and Aurora, Texas. So if you are close to any of these, but for my money, I am going to Casadega. I have some questions. I need to talk to Tesla, the real Tesla, not the car. But, I have a couple questions. I need to talk to my first crush, Alex Trebek. Just tell him I thought his mustache was great. You know, just unfinished business, things like that. Ask God why he hasn't taken Kevin Spacey for the 80th time. Things I'm sure Sal and I are gonna get kicked out in about the first 5 minutes, but while the fun lasts. In more serious news, 8 children from Arkansas foster homes, uh, abducted by a biological mother and smuggled across the country. 8 children were allegedly kidnapped from their Arkansas foster homes and smuggled across the country by their biological mother before they were found safe in California Saturday. Police officers discovered that Fullerton and 6 of her kids discovered Trista Fullerton and 6 of her kids in a parking lot at 12:30 a.m. Saturday after a concerned citizen called 911 to report a woman displaying, quote, bizarre behavior, authorities said. Fullerton, who lost custody of her kids, drove through multiple states with them to evade authorities and reached Northern California, Anderson police said. Well, that's 6 of her kids, but 8 of them were abducted. So where are the other 2? The mother and her children traveled in a trash-filled Dodge pickup truck with Arkansas license plate, which was parked in the lot, police said. Officers responding to the 911 request for a welfare check arrived upon at the lot and soon identified Fullerton, 36, realizing she had an active warrant for her arrest in the state of Arkansas. She was wanted for allegedly abducting her 8 children from their foster homes after she lost custody of them, Anderson police said. Yeah, that's look, we have a trash bag in my car. I usually hang it on the back of, like, the driver's passenger seat for the Ford Transit, and I make the kids do a policing, like, move every time we get out because I refuse to have my car look like that. I mean, we still have children. If you find a Cheerio, it's yours, but my car does not look like that. Fullerton, who has a criminal history, including domestic battery charges, was arrested at the scene, and investigators interviewed her about where her 2 other children were, police said. The 2 children were later found at home in a Cottonwood area with the help of Shasta County Sheriff's Office. Fullerton of Rogers, Arkansas, was booked in Shasta County jail in connection to her arrest warrant. So there she is, and she does not look very happy. So it was unclear how long Fullerton was with her children following the alleged kidnappings. The children were released to Shasta County Children and Family Services so they could be reunited with guardians in Arkansas. Hopefully, these children are getting help, but DCFS seems to be about as helpful as tits on bulls sometimes, so hopefully that's working. In other news, apparently there is a right way to fold socks. Now I want you to watch this nonsense and tell me you have time for this. This video has no sound, but this is how you're supposed to fold socks. Now this is how I fold socks with the little ball movement. But I would like you to watch this absolute nonsense right here. Now, this woman must have 1 husband and no children. Now, that is some daggone shenanigans brought to you by the people that fold their damned, fitted sheets instead of balling them up. If you got time for that, I ain't got time for that. But there you go. There's supposedly some magical person that also folds their socks like that, and then also folds their fitted sheets. Now, I've seen tales of people telling you can fold your fitted sheets to make them look nice, but I got 8 beds to make, y'all. I got linens out the yin yang. Ain't nobody got time for that. I ball them up the best I can, and I tell people to either put them on your bed or ball them up and put them in that linen closet, and I don't wanna see that. Oh, dear Jesus. She done wrote another letter. I thought I heard screaming of an existential horror. but I thought it was just the voices coming back in my head, but, oh lord. Well, we can deal with it. I'm down. I'm NyQuil'd up. I have solved, all the world conflicts already. It's not even 10 o'clock. I have gotten Sean King out of the country and solved world conflicts. Okay. I will take a look at it. I mean, alright. So, in a case from a while back, apparently we have gotten closure on this. Extremists convicted in a case of three-year-old boy who was buried to be brought back as Jesus. Yes, I read that headline all the way right to you, and if you'll remember, this was, the band of family who took, like, tires and, just now this is gonna have a whole bunch of names that I am simply going to highlight for you and then do a Dave and simply continue on and pretend that I read them to you, and you're gonna follow on in the vein that I read them to you, and we are both going to engage in the fact that I read them to you. That's how we're gonna do this because I am also not going to commit a cultural misunderstanding with how Imma pronounce these, okay? Because I have a full-on Midwestern accent, and I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce these. So, 4 people were convicted and a 5th pleaded guilty in connection to their plot to wage "jihad," quote, unquote. 3 of those defendants were also guilty in the death of Abdul Gianni Wahid 3. The boy's father, Sari in this person, and his paternal aunt, this person, and this person, and the husband, Lucas Morton. How did Lucas Morton get involved with all of these people? Went to trial, the US Department of Justice announced Friday. Uh, Wahaj and Morton were convicted in New Mexico federal court of conspiracy to provide material support to bad people, providing material support to bad people, and conspiracy to murder an officer or employee of the United States. So the sisters and Morton were also found guilty of conspiracy to commit kidnapping resulting in death and kidnapping resulting in death. All 4 were convicted Tuesday, records show. The 5th defendant, uh, Janie Levyville, pleaded guilty to conspiracy to provide material support to bad people and being in possession of a firearm while unlawfully in the United States. She is originally from Haiti. Federal prosecutors unsealed her plea agreement on Thursday. Prosecutors said that Wahaj abducted his son from the boy's mother in Georgia on December 2017. LaVille and the defendants believe that the child was actually her son and was possessed by demons, according to authorities. Quote, the group took Abdul Gianni to Mexico, depriving him of his anti seizure medication and the loving care of his mother, and subjecting him to an exhausting regimen of daily spiritual exorcisms. What is wrong with people? Good morning, Lucy. Gianni died after less than 2 weeks in New Mexico. It's hot as heck. They're depriving him of a bunch of things. They're out you saw this compound. He is without air conditioning. He is without proper care. These people. Under Livia's direction, Siraj and others established community-centered, based on the belief that Abdul Gianni would return as Jesus Christ to pass judgment on corrupted institutions, including the FBI, military, and other government and financial institutions, authorities wrote. To this end, they established a fortified base and a firing range. Armed with 11 firearms, including an AR-15 Bushmaster assault rifle, justice system, seriously? High-capacity magazines and hundreds of rounds of ammunition, the group conducted weapons and tactical training and required some of the children to do it as well. The group conducted the training with the intent to, quote, "face the nation and unalive those who refuse to believe as they did." They spoke of waging a holy war and becoming martyrs. Yay, atheist aunt. That'll be great. Everyone needs a vacation. The Taos County Sheriff's Office executed warrants at the compound on August 3rd, 2018, and managed to arrest Wahaj without shots fired, even though he armed himself to defend the premises. Authorities said that the sheriff's office found them living in squalid condition with 11 children ages 1 to 15. Investigators said that the adults were teaching the kids how to shoot firearms in a bid to take on the government. I know. Just how in the world? Those on the compound thought Gianni was possessed by spirits. In truth, his mother said that he's suffered from hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy. Authorities said that Abdul Gianni's body was washed, wrapped up in sheets, and buried in the belief that he would come back as Jesus. I I have heard this. Investigators found Gianni's remains in an underground tunnel. Quote, "When a mother loses her child, we all lose a child," said United States Attorney Alexander Ubales of District of Mexico. "It is our collective responsibility to protect children from danger, and when we lose a child, it is our solemn duty in law enforcement to ensure that those responsible receive justice. My thanks go out to many local, state, and federal enforcement officers who work tirelessly to deliver that justice, and my heart goes out to the mother of Abdul Gianni." Under the terms of her plea agreement, Laville faces up to 17 years in prison, a sentencing hearing to take place November 27th. The other defendants face life in prison. In other news of the government doing awesome things for everyone, a woman returns from vacation to find her Atlanta home demolished by mistake. Look, it's an oopsie. Our government is awesome. They just kind of look, the government has dyslexia. It didn't want to say anything because of stigma, but we got the numbers wrong, okay? An Atlanta woman is looking for answers after a longtime family owned property was reduced to rubble while she was away on vacation, apparently due to error by a local hauling and demolition company. Sarah Hodge, Hodgson said she was alerted to the unsanctioned destruction by a neighbor who called to ask if she had hired a company to tear down the vacant home in Southwest Atlanta. She said, "I said no." And she said, "Well, there's someone over there who just demolished the whole house and tore it down," Hodgson said in an interview with the AP Saturday. When the neighbor ventured outside to confront the workers, Hodgson said told her to shut up and mind her own business. Hodgson said she called a family member to pay a visit to the property to see what was happening. The family member asked to see the worker's permit. Oh, well, isn't that beautiful? Just special. Hodgson returned from a vacation last month to find a house belonging to her family had been demolished by accident. Oh, wonderful. When the site supervisor checked the permit, Hodgson said he admitted they were on the wrong address. The work crew then packed up their equipment, left the property, leaving the house in ruins, Hodgson said. Although the house had been boarded up for about 15 years, Hodgson said the lawn was maintained and all the taxes were current on the property. How do people just go and tear up someone's property or go up and tear someone's property down, then just drive off? How do they think that's okay? She said, expressing concern about any gas or water lines that could have been damaged in the incident. Hodgson said the company is responsible for the mishap. Atlanta-based You Can Haul It, We Can Call It has yet to contact her. She said she's filed a police report and has spoken to attorneys. Quote, "I think he owes us an apology. He needs to fix the problem. He needs to fix the problem," Hodgson said. In a statement sent to Fox 5 Atlanta, "You Call It, We Haul It" said they're working to resolve the matter. Uh, Calls placed to the company on Sunday were sent straight to voicemail box, which was full. I can't imagine. Um, Like, so what kinda Hallmark card and, Werther's Original, like, assortment do you send for, like, "Sorry we knocked your house down by accidentalness?" I mean, I don't know. Seems like that would be it you know, eh, it seems like you would buy a scented candle from Yankee Candles too, like one of the big ones that you normally don't buy with one of the, snow globe bottoms. Yeah. Yeah, their lawyer's probably like, "Oh, dude." The lawyer's like, "Are you an LLC? I do hope you are." Yeah, so we are at the end of that, but we do have a story time. Friberto, where are you? It is too quiet. 1 second, checking on the fry. Oh, you're looking out the window at the squirrels. Okay, as long as you're looking out the window. Yes, I see you. We will go on a walk. I know. We're gonna we're gonna go on a walk as soon as I finish this up, but we have story time. So let me switch this and we will go into story time mode because we are in story time. Fry. Here, do it. You've been relatively okay. Here, you can have a treat. Good, sit. There. All right. So story time slash Smurfsplosion. Now, parenting is not a no contact sport. Yesterday, I was feeling awful generally. So I took some Dayquil and that stuff or NyQuil because if I'm feeling awful, sometimes if I take a nap and I can just get back to sleep and then wake up, I can do stuff. And it was about the afternoon and I just had tried all day to get stuff done, but it was just not happening. So I told the boys I'm taking stuff, I'm going to take a nap and they're allowed to go in this little like woods place in the back of our house, but they've been told, if you find stuff there, because it's kind of like the high school hangout place, if you find stuff there, do not mess with it. If you find any weird stuff, don't play with it because high schoolers hang out there. I'm sure it's got all the crazy stuff, but we had the sit down talk, with the two youngest heathens, weird stuff, don't. So I am in the middle of a restorative nap and I hear crying and explosion and a door flung open, and I'm hearing someone screaming about an explosion, and Griffin comes in covered in blue, and I can smell spray paint, and I am like, "For the love of all that is holy, what is going on?" Now, middle son is crying, but saying nothing happened. He wasn't there, like, I was swinging, I was nowhere near this, like, you can't pin any of this on me. Griffin looks like he was in the middle of Call of Duty Smurf edition, a Blue Man Group, uh, Smurfsplosion, and I'm like, "Okay, so you were swinging with Griffin, and out of nowhere, a Smurfsplosion happens." And Gunner's like, "Yes, absolutely. This is exactly what happens." So Mr. Moe goes out to find the scene of the crime in the woods. And I'm over here dealing with a kid that looks like Wile E. Coyote, making sure that, no hands have been exploderated, no eardrums, waking up kind of like from a full on, like drool on your pillow, like hair, messed up, making sure we don't have to go to the ER yet again. And, you know, middle son is like, "I just would like to go take a shower. I am done. I was not even there." You know, and Griffin is A-okay, except, like, yeah, he's like, "I wasn't even there either." full explosion in school clothes that he has still not changed from Friday, mind you, because mom has been not feeling good, so it's been kind of drop the ball weekend. Yeah, Griffin's like, "I was also swinging." And I was like, "So wait, I just wanna get this story straight here. You were both swinging innocently in the backyard when suddenly a Smurfsplosion happened and caught you unaware." And they're like, "Yes, but you have no idea what happened, and I'm smelling spray paint because this just happened. The squirrels attacked you." Now, Griffin latched onto this. We have angry militant squirrels apparently at war with the Smurfs. I have no idea. So we had to sit down and talk to the boys yet again about if we find empty spray paint cans, like we've talked about before we let them go out into the woods because we realized that it is kind of like a teenage hangout too, that we don't play with them because they're dangerous. You can explode your hands. Y- you can get covered in blue and look like freaking Blue Man Group exploded. I mean, the one day I just try to take a nap during the day. So, yes, don't ever take a nap. And yes, boy child issues. Never did I ever have to have a compressed cans you cannot throw into fires. You cannot bang them against walls. You cannot throw rocks at this. You cannot you cannot light them on fire. You cannot put them near a light. I mean, you cannot, um, let's see, use a nail to hammer. I thought of everything that I could tell them that you cannot do with compressed cans because I'm sure they will try it. And we scrubbed the youngest. He doesn't look like a Smurf exploded near him anymore. But I and we sat down and we talked to them about how dangerous was again, but long story short, they are no longer allowed to go into the woods, and we are the meanest parents ever. But it is what it is. We are mean, we are terrible, but I saved the world, and I have sent Sean King over to right all of the wrongs in the world, and, it is what it is. I'm not telling them that. I'm not telling them that. I don't know what possessed them. I'm trying to react with grace because I know I came up with some really dumb ideas, like, I told my brother that if he jumped off the, porch, roof with an umbrella, he would float like, Mary Poppins, because I was a mean jackass older sister. I was terrible, so I'm trying to remember things with grace, but y'all, it was just like, "Mom is trying to just if you would just let me have 1 day to sleep. Also, if you would lie convincingly, because I can smell spray paint, child." Ugh. So, yes, um, we are the meanest parents ever. They are not allowed to go into the forest by themselves for at least the rest of this season until they can prove that they can follow directions, so and yes, my shirt came in. Will say, not as impressed with this company. It's all, digitized. It's not yeah, and I'm sure my youngest daughter would do something along similar lines. Atheist, I'm also not telling them this. So, we will be doing more, work on getting them interested in technical jobs that they can do safe playing with fire, like welding or oh, get in loser, we're gonna die of dysentery. So I like the shirt. The quality of the material is 100% polyester. So it's definitely no, no, you guys. We don't need any help with making the boys more flame pyromaniacs. We don't. Apparently, this is a long line of interest that came from Mr. Mo that I was not aware of prior to procreation. Apparently, this is a long line of interest for boy people and especially Mr. Mo. All right. Well, this has been a lovely. Yeah, besides, we are already slowly getting into the Axe body spray. My oldest boy asked for some body spray because he's 11 years old and now a man, and he needs some deodorant for smelling good. We are entering the Axe body spray hell, and I'm not ready for it. So, I have given you all the most information I can, but Friberto needs a walk. About 11 o'clock, I will have a stream about the trial that I am going to start this week. The Charles, I have it written down, Alderson case. It is a crazy, crazy case, so it needs a stream and whiteboard of its own. I am probably going to have to wipe off and clean the big whiteboard. So but I'm going to try to keep it to the small mobile whiteboard because I am still day quilled up, and that's work, to be very honest with you. Oh, they wanna do that. That and, Tannerite, which I'm like, "No. What? No," and for the love of goodness. Yes, okay. Mr. Fry says, "Enough. We're done." I love you guys. I will see you in just a little bit. Have a great rest of your Monday if I don't see you again, and I will be here for Newsy News at night, if I don't see you, where we will document Sean King's bringing peace to the world. Bye, guys.